According to the latest reports for 2024 and 2025, the top 5 oil-producing countries globally remain largely stable. This is attributed to significant technological advancements in the United States and strategic coordination among OPEC countries. These figures typically include crude oil, natural gas liquids, and biofuels. The rankings may vary slightly depending on the criteria used, such as limiting them to crude oil only, including condensates, or other factors. United States. The United States is the world's largest producer of crude oil for the 6th consecutive year. It has recorded unprecedented production levels over the past 2 years. U.S. oil production reached a record high of 13.87 million barrels per day in October 2025. Production is expected to average 13.5 million barrels per day throughout 2025. Production then experienced a slight decline, reaching a 6-month low in early 2026. The United States leads the world in production, accounting for 43% of total global output. It also has the largest number of refineries. It anticipates its production will reach its absolute peak of 14 million barrels per day by 2027. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest oil exporter. Its production reached approximately 9.5 million barrels per day in early 2026. It ranks first in the Arab world. Saudi production adheres to the voluntary production cuts within the OPEC Plus alliance. Exports exceeded 6.4 million barrels per day by the end of 2025. The Ghawar field, the world's largest oil field, is a vital part of this production. Its production is approximately 9.5 million barrels per day. The Ghawar field is the world's largest offshore oil field. The voluntary production cuts contribute to market stability. The kingdom has more than 100 oil fields, and 60% of its production comes from the Ghawar field alone. The voluntary production cuts, approximately 1.5 million barrels per day, have been extended until the end of 2026 to ensure balance. Russia. Russia's average oil production was around 9.28 million barrels per day at the beginning of 2026. Production has recently seen a significant decline. This is due to OPEC commitments and economic sanctions. Production fell by 56,000 barrels per day in February 2026. Production was around 9.32 million barrels per day at the end of 2025, before resuming its decline. A slight decrease of 0.8% in annual production is expected for 2025, compared to previous years. Russia's proven reserves are around 80 billion barrels. This places it 9th globally. Canada. Canada is the world's 4th largest oil producer. Its production reached record levels in late 2025 and early 2026. Canada's average crude oil production was around 5.99 million barrels per day in 2024. It reached a historic peak of approximately 5.23 million barrels per day. Net crude oil production in November 2025. Canada has the world's 3rd largest proven oil reserves, after Venezuela and Saudi Arabia. These reserves are estimated at around 164 billion barrels, mostly in oil sands. Canada ranks 4th globally among the largest producers. In March 2026, Canada announced plans to increase its oil export capacity by 140,000 barrels per day. Starting in April, this expansion aimed to support the stability of global energy markets. Canadian producers anticipate significant financial gains, potentially reaching $90 billion. This increase is attributed to rising global prices linked to tensions in the Middle East. Iran. Iran is the 3rd largest oil producer in OPEC. In early 2026, its crude oil production was approximately 3.3 million barrels per day, BPD. In addition, it produced 1.3 million BPD of condensates and other liquids, with exports exceeding 800,000 BPD of refined petroleum products. Most of its production is concentrated in the southwest. Its total crude oil and condensate production is approximately 4.6 million BPD. This represents about 4.5% of global supply. About 90% of its crude oil is exported via Karg Island in the Persian Gulf. The oil fields are located primarily in Khuzestan province, onshore, and Bushehr, offshore, South Pars field. Iran is a major player in the global energy market, with relatively low production costs estimated at around $10 per barrel.